Oh god! Welcome, guys, to the Virtual Craft Festival, September the 18th. Um, I've got um, I've got Nick here helping me in the background, reading my comments and everything. So today I'm just gonna do a continuation of this, the giant GPS art piece I'm working on. But today, what I'm going to be doing is, firstly, I'm going to be sanding some of this GPS and just buffing it up lightly just to take all the factory marks off. And then I'm going to be putting some tape around this edge here, like I have already done on these pieces, to retain the resin that hopefully I'll get to pour. But firstly, I'm going to move all of this off here so that I've got an area to work from. So bear with me a second.
Maybe you just occupying space.
So, to get a board to put on there. Firstly, I'll just sand all this off and get it all nice and smooth. And drop stuff at the same time. Yeah. So how's everyone doing today? I'll check that. Change the battery on that one. And thanks to Dale for helping me set it. Yeah, usually when I cutting and sanding this GPS stuff, because I'm a bit of a model, I'm supposed to be wearing I can't even see where it is. Don't know where I put it. Oh, there it is. My face, this here.
I'm looking over here.
I know. I'm supposed to put this on first, but
Okay, Thompson, you've got these snakes.
it usually comes in a big sheet. I should have got that out first to show you, because then I cut it out on the router. But I have got a couple of sheets somewhere, but can't find them. I'll continue anyway. Only do it lightly, just to get the factory marks off them, because by the time I put a little bit of Yorkshire grit on there, it will just clean that right up. I'm just looking for my cloth to use to wipe off stuff. Oh, there we go. Just use a cloth just to.
See, it's like this, man. Got something there, it was missing.
Yeah, and usually everything's just right there to hand. I usually have a roll of kitchen roll just hanging up here, but as you can see, it's run out on me. But yeah, once you once you get off most of the factory lines, you should be able to then just buff it up with a little bit of Yorkshire. I'll just put a little bit on. Usually takes time to do this, but we'll see what we can do. But as soon as you apply the Yorkshire grip, this is the rough one, isn't it? And then you have got the microfine that I apply after.
So it shows up the stuff as soon as you put it
yeah,
on.
that's what I mean. As soon as you lightly just take the factory marks out of it, and you just put some Yorkshire grit, and then you'll be able to see that it's already trying to pop already. So
Buff it, real good. I could have said it like the way the song is, but they won't get it copyright.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll just apply that on. See the difference in just a second. Right, and that was just, you see how quick I did that, right? So I'll just wipe off the excess, right? And I'll just show you the difference in just in that short space of time, what the Yorkshire grit done. And that's just the rough one at the minute. It's not a rough, is it? It's not called rough.
No.
Right.
The Yorkshire grit?
Yeah.
It's original.
Right.
Yorkshire grit original.
If you can see, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see. Right, that's the back side what I haven't polished, and this is the other side that I have just polished. If you can see, you can see the difference, can't you? It's a lot more deeper in color. So what I like to do, I just like to just keep buffing that for a few more minutes, and then I'll put the microfine on, and then I'll do the little piece as well. And to be honest with you, because I do intend to cover this in resin, in a clear resin when I finish the project, I don't think I really need to use the microfine. There's really no point, because the shine that I'm getting off that already, when you pour the resin on, it will just bring it out itself. So the only time I would use the microfine, if it's not going to be covered in resin, and you're just going to want to buff it up and polish it so it looks like, you know, real shiny, that's the only time I would use the microfine one. So for today, I'm just going to use the original.
Guy says Can you show what the plan is? The plan is for the piece. Like, what's the finished item?
What's the plan?
Let's say this.
All right. Well, hopefully I've got a few. I do have a few colors to add to it yet. So as if you look at one of my previous like pieces that I used to make like that, it's a yellow and grey one, yellow, white and grey one. It's just a massive wall art piece, man. And hopefully I'll be able to put some LEDs in this one. Usually I'll do a backlight, but hopefully I'll be able to, jazz it up a bit this time and put some on the inside this time. Fingers crossed anyway. If that's what it means.
I'd say so.
It's up to you how long you want to sand. You can sand all day if you want to, and buff and polish. It's up to. Oh, I'm not trying to say nothing. You just got to. It's to your own preference, really. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, normally I'm in here for a couple of hours, man, just polishing up and buffing stuff up and re-pouring resin and stuff like that. Most of the resin projects that I do, I say about 85% of them turn out okay. It's quite high, but you just gotta be just gotta be careful, and just keep your eye on it, really. And my number one problem is leaks. So now that I've buffed this up, I can add it to the bigger picture, so to speak. But first of all, I'm gonna have to cover all this in tape. This is just an inch thick MDF, and people always ask me, don't you seal it? Not when I do resin pours. No, I just pour. It's never given me any problems before. I usually use the hardwoods when I use my projects, man, but because this was an inch thick, I thought I'd use some of this. But yeah, I'm just gonna wrap this in some tape, ready to pour some resin. But I'll just use my jigsaw. Well, I just get a piece of board. Say if I was gonna use something like this, right? All I would do is draw some shapes on the board. Make sure that they can interlock, and you can take them out. Doesn't matter what shapes they are. And once you've done that, then what I tend to do, it doesn't really matter how thick it is, man. You can go real thick. It depends on how your machine or your jigsaw or whatever. I use a jigsaw to cut these bits out. But I've burnt out my jigsaw now because it wasn't a professional jigsaw. It was just a normal DIY one. So yeah, I've got to go and purchase another one after this project. It killed it. But I have had it for years. But yeah, I use my jigsaw to cut this out, and then once I cut the shape out, I'll draw it all out first, cut it out with the jigsaw. Then I use my router table, with a round over bit, and then just smooth the edges over. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to. You can keep them flush as you want, but I always like to give it that round over, because when I come to pour the resin, with the resin and with the tape, it leaves a sharp edge all the way around it, and if you don't want to waste resin and you know, purchasing more, because it can be expensive. Sometimes what I do, I always pre-think that if I'm going to when I put tape around it, I want the resin to be deep enough so that it's like a few millimeters below the tape. So when I peel the tape off, there's an edge to it, and it's a sharp edge. But you got to be careful with that. So then what I do, I just then use I use something like this, but a newer one, like a sanding soft pad, and then I just brush around that sharp edge, right? Smooth it out, that sharp edge, or yeah, just smooth it out. And then what you can do then, you can mix some more resin. You know, you won't need a lot, just a small amount, and you can just brush it on all the way around the edge that's now being dulled, because you sanded it off, and everywhere else is going to be shiny. So what you do then, you just sand it all off nicely, and that's what I tend to do. So yeah, let me go and get some tape.
You sanded the little one. Did you sand
Yes,
it?
yeah, it's all done. So I've just got to get some of this. Do you say this is carpenter's tape?
Say it's painter's tape.
Painter's tape. Make it self. I watched one of her videos, and she was using some of this tape. What I was using, big mistake. Never use this kind of tape with resin. Gaffer tape. Biggest mistake. That was the only type of tape that I had, that I knew of, that would hold the resin. You know, through experiences and trying to find out what barriers you could use to hold the resin together and in one mold, and that, because I don't make molds, everything's just built up on the actual project. But with the masking tape, is a big no-no. You'll be there forever trying to sand it off, and it can ruin your projects as well. I learnt the hard way. So one day I saw Make It Self using this painter's tape. He said, "He's using this painter's tape." So I asked her a question: would this hold resin? She says you can try it, or she did say it would, or she said you can try it. So I bought a load of them off eBay, and perfect for when I'm pouring resin. But you have to remember, I don't do deep pours. Mine are stuff like this, or they're very shallow pours. I do on most of my projects, or I do a couple of pours. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I use this painter's tape to make a barrier. So what I firstly do, I go around it high first. Make sure you pinch the tape. Make sure it's on it flush. Okay. Once it's on flush, then you press it in. You guys know how to use tape. But yeah, when it comes to these corners, it's easy when you got to do a square or a rectangle or a triangle. Anything with the straight edge, anything like that, is quite easy. But when you're doing round shapes and that, it's a little bit more tricky, because the tape does try to tend to see how it's going down at an angle now. So you just have to try and just manipulate and work it. But what I also do, I do about 2 wraps around, because the first one just bonds with it, and you can see where you're building up the barrier. And then once you've done that, you've gone around it, you know, tear it off and just work it round. just feel it.
Would you use like something like a roller to press it down so it's got like
You could, but you tend to because you're manipulating the tape round the bends and that it can rip and tear sometimes. But yeah, you can use a roller on the edge, you know, closest down to the bottom of it. Yeah, you can do that. And then what I do then, I double it, but then I go lower, so it gives it like a kind of like a second reinforcement, so it kind of like lines it all up. So when you get pieces where they double up and it seems to be folding on each other, once you put the second tape around, it straightens it up.
Dutch Turner went, don't think anyone has done a tape tutorial.
I'm sorry, guys.
There you go, first on YouTube, a tape tutorial.
Oh my god. But do you know, the amount of time, the amount of things that I went through just to get to this stage where I had like tape or something that could do the barrier to, because everybody was making molds, right? On everybody's projects I used to see online when it comes to resin, they always had a mold, right? They would cut a shape out like this, right? And then build like a plastic barrier around it, and then it would have a plastic base, and then they put some anti mold thing on it, right? And then they would just have that piece there, they'd have another piece of wood there, another piece of wood there, then they would pour the resin in, and that's the job done. From when they see, and then they can seal it all around the edges and in the middle. Do you know what I mean? But with me, I have to make my own barrier.
I think the last few resin pieces I've done, I actually have used tape and hot glue.
Yeah, do whatever you can. Use what comes to you. Do you know what I mean? What works for you, sorry. If it works for you, it works for you.
I think the only thing with hot glue you've got to be careful of is the resin heat.
Yes, that's why I do shallow pours. That's why I always do shallow pours. If I have to do about 3 or 4 pours, so be it. So be it. I'd rather do that than the resin overheating, and then that's wasted. That could ruin your project. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would. When I do my resin pours, man, I do them shallow, so that I can keep an eye on them.
Personal preference.
Yeah, that's what I do. So now that I've done all of that setup, I'm gonna bring the project back over and try and mix some resin. It does weigh a bit.
I ain't a very good assistant. I could have helped you with it.
It's all good. Right. Yes. So I'm gonna mix a little bit of resin now. Just in like 1 or 2 of them. I'm not gonna do more.
See, I still think it looks like a giant jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody says that. They say, oh, your big pieces, they all look like a puzzle. And I did do one. I did make a black, white, and grey one for my pal, but he wanted 3 separate pictures. Do you know what I mean? It was bigger than this. So what I had to do, that really busted my head. So I had to get 3 different size pieces of wood like this, and what I did, I staggered them, right? So there was one down here, one up here, and probably another one further up, right? And I drew something on them all, right? So they all matched together. And then what I had to do then is work out which ones are going to be black, white, and grey, and make them come together as one. Man, the amount of times I marked black, white, grey on them and still still messed up. Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun, and he's still got it up in his house now. What was I doing?
You've gone above 150 subs now.
Hey? Oh wow! Oh, thank you guys.
I think I just checked. It's 154.
Oh goodness me! Thank you. Yeah, I'm just gonna mix some resin now. I've decided still I we have thought of a colour to use on this now, because it's got mainly the purple, the purple and the yellow GPS in here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put some yellow in this one, and some yellow in this one here. Might be a little bit pearlescent as well, and I'm not too. Oh yes, and when I finish thinking what to put in this one and this one, I'm gonna probably do like a solid. What was it? A solid orange. Was it orange? Solid orange on this middle piece here. Can you see where?
No, I can't really see that.
Can't they see? No. Well, if you've seen the piece, you in this all this middle bit here, that's not being done. That's not going to get resin poured on them. I'm going to literally paint on that. Go back to what I used to do back in the day and use some paint. But I'm still undecided yet. Things can, the thing in Sneak Store, like it can just change at a moment's notice. So, but I definitely do know I'm going to pour some yellow in this one and that one today. And the resin that I use, and I've used for a long time, it's called Resin for You. I get them on eBay, and this is like 1,000 1.5 we say 1.5 liters. I'd say that is, man.
Is it polyester or epoxy?
No, it's epoxy. It's epoxy resin. Yeah, it's a 2-to-1 mix as well. I do like the 2-to-1 mix because they're easy to explain or to tell anyone how to mix it or whatever. You know, if you put it's easy. If you put 100 grams of part A, 100 grams of part A, you're going to put 50 grams of part B. It's as simple as that. If you put 25 grams of this, well, you put 30 grams of this, you put 15 grams of that.
You just half.
You just half whatever part A is, and that's all you do. Easy mix ratio there for you guys. Let me get my scale. And always make sure it's in gram. The amount of times I've just put it on, man, and like, yeah, and I'm like, I don't have enough resin. And then I look down again and I thought, oh gosh, it's in the wrong thing. So yeah.
See, there's times where I've just gone by eye.
Yeah. You, if I'm honest,
that's mainly because I've rushed.
if I'm honest, I do stick to what it says on the tin, right? But if you're like 1 or 2 or 3 grams or 4 grams over, it's not going to be the end of the world. You know what I mean? It still will mix. You just got to mix it. That's the key thing. Just mix it well. Um, and people say, how much do you know? How much to use? That is something I've been trying to figure out from when I started using resin. I've never known how much to use and how much to pour. I've back in the day when I first used it, I was trying to measure out rice.
I've seen that being done.
You know, I'll put rice. It's like for this bit here, I would pour rice in all of this here, and then pour it in a cup and just look at it by eye, and I think, right, okay, let me use that. No, wrong method. It was either not enough, or it was way too much. If I done it by weight or by eye, so no, it didn't work. So now it if we don't make enough, that's the main problem. But if we don't make enough, that's a problem. But if you make too much, it's not a problem. If that makes any sense.
It's always best to make too much until it.
Yes, because you can always. I always have a little piece of I always have a little piece of wood around with my tape at hand. So what I could do, I could just grab a piece of wood, throw some tape around it, grab a bit of GPS or whatever, throw it in there, throw whatever resin, color, whatever I'm using, and instant coaster.
Dead Rose Woodcraft says, when is Snakes coming to America?
Oh my goodness me. When all this madness is over. I grew up watching American TV, and I still watch stuff on the internet about America, man.
I think the US have got their borders closed.
Have they? I would love to go.
I watched a lot of Alex Steele, and he said he was going to go back, but their borders are closed, so no one can get in.
I think I'm going to need a little bit more than that. I think I need that too.
Dutchman, is that Nick there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nick the Flaming Wood Turner, man. It does.
The Flaming Turner.
The Flaming Turner, sorry. Flaming Wood. Oh, God. Yeah, he's come to give me a bit of support, man. Although Dale was a massive help today, man. You know, sometimes you get a bit. I get a bit nervous and a bit shy, asking for help and stuff like that. But you know, the help's there, man. People are there. They're willing to help, and I should know better.
Especially when I'm only 20 minutes down the road.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, 20 minutes by normal, 15 by my speed.
But you know, I got there in the end, guys. I got there in the end. So now, yeah, I've just mixed, just poured in 100 grams of Part A, and now I'm just putting 200 grams of Part A. I'm gonna have to put 100 grams of Part B. Listen to the silence.
It's the concentration of resin pouring.
It's the dead accuracy. So that's mixed now. Well, that's poured.
I was just going to say it's mixed nice now.
Wouldn't that be nice, man? Imagine that, man. Just put it in there and
self-mixing.
Self-mix. I like these lollipop sticks, man, for mixing.
eBay.
Oh yes. And this can take up to, because it's because it's 200 grams of resin. I like to give it at least a couple of minutes mixing. Let's say 5 minutes mixing, you know. So I just give it a good mix, and then what I tend to do, I tend to mix it, and then once it's all mixed together and it looks a lot clearer, because when you start it's a little bit cloudy, but as you continue to mix, it does come clearer. And people say, what do you do about the bubbles, Sneak? I use like was it a blowtorch. I use a blowtorch. I used to use the gas, we're using the gas lighter ones. They're no
the
good.
little chef ones.
Yeah, they're no good, because what I found out is that sometimes they leak a bit of the stuff onto the resin.
So I've never had that.
And didn't like it. So then I just went and bought one of the blow torches.
Yeah, the thing I have found with them little chef ones is that if it's too far away, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And if you get too close,
you'll burn it. And what I like about those blow torches, man, you don't have to get close, but just be very careful with them.
Yeah, because they are quite dangerous as well.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
I forgot where mine was, so I turned around and burnt my arm.
Yeah, they're not for children. Definitely not.
Oh, well, I should stop playing with it then.
So yeah, I've just mix the resin. It's probably been about 2 minutes so far, and I'll just add some of the pigment. And hopefully, yes, place that there. You've got enough time with this resin. I find I've got a little bit of play time, not too much. But if what I've noticed with resin, if you're just doing a flat color, you can just pour it, blow torch it, come back after 10 minutes, see if there's any bubbles that have come up. You can blow torch it again and make sure there's no leaks, and you job done. Cover it over, cover your piece over to stop any dust getting onto it. Just cover it over, and then I was just thinking about what I was going to say. Yeah, cover it over, and I had something to say then.
Well, I'll say blowtorch, I think then. Use blowtorch.
Yes, I use one of these. I've had these. I think I bought these 2 years ago with 4 cans. With 4, they come in a pack of 4.
You said that was like still the first one.
Yeah, and that's still the first one. You know, it's not as if I'm standing there like going. Do you know what I mean? For ages, you don't need to do that. All you need to do is just get it on, and you just a quick. All you're doing is just bursting the bubbles. You don't want to get it. You don't want it to create no additional heat. And you're trying to do it quite quickly as well.
So yeah, I find with the heat gun, it blows too hard.
And
you can push your stuff around.
It can. Yes. Oh no. I would definitely not use a heat gun on my resin. No chance, because the blow force on it sucks dust, right? It sucks dust through it, fine dust through it, and I've noticed it leaves marks and dust on your actual projects. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, there's my heat gun. Don't use it. The only time I'm going to use it unless I need to mount something or bend something, you know what I'm saying? But otherwise, not for resin. I wouldn't use that on my resin.
Dead Roy says, real question. Has Sneaks got that lathe fixed yet?
Oh my goodness
No,
me.
I'm looking at it. No.
No, I haven't. Do you know what? If what's his name's dad? Oh my goodness. I went to what's Colin, no, yeah, Colin. Yes. The beard's dad.
White beard.
White beard. I went to his house a couple of weeks ago now, and he messaged me and says that he's got some switches for my lathe, and me thinking that, yeah, I was took it apart, man. I built it and all that, man. Yeah, I'll take the switch off, man. I'm looking at the new switch and I'm like, there's 8 wires on that and only 6 points on this. So it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I'll get on it, guys. Trust me. It's the lathes there looking at me. Yeah, I will get it sorted. It's like I said to people, man, once I get that lathe running, I won't be making any bowls, any platters, or anything like that. I'm just going to be turning. Well, listen to me, turning. Listen, yeah, I'll be turning. I'll try to turn resin. That's what I'll be doing. I'll be turning resin, and hopefully, I really do need to talk to Claire from Claire's Crafty Corner, man, because she's got some of these. What's that stuff she uses? Oh my goodness me!
Jasmine.
That's it, Jasminite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new stuff she uses.
The what she to do the molding stuff.
No. Is it the stuff that Rich turned?
Yeah, that stuff that Richard the beer turned.
Yeah, Jasminite.
Jasminite, yes. That I wouldn't mind like getting some molds, some funny shaped molds, and then putting some of that jasminite in it. Do you know what I'm saying? And making some cylinder things, man, from that, and turning that into and incorporate that into my flat artwork. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do with it. But yeah, I definitely need to I need to talk to Claire from Claire's Crafty Corner, definitely, about that.
You put the pearl stuff in yet, or is that?
No, this is just the yellow, and
how bright it is.
It's nice, isn't it? And you know what, man? That's gonna go well with that, right? Where's my pearl?
Behind now.
Hey,
behind the box.
Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna add some. What we got? Are we not doing bad for time, are we?
Just over 15 minutes.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of this pearl.
You see, with that being yellow, it looks like the yellow is mixed in with the purple. When you pour the yellow,
yeah,
when it's finished, it's gonna look like the yellow leaked into the purple.
Brilliant, beautiful. I'll tell you what, man. I've had this for a good 3-4 years. Yeah, I got this from Maker Central.
I dread going to
that.
I dread going to Maker Central.
Do you? Why?
I don't know how much I'm going to spend.
Oh God! Do you know what? The first time I went to Maker Central, I was like, oh, I wish I'd bought more cash. I only bought a little bit of cash because I didn't know what was there. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. My first one, but the second one, I made sure I went with a bit more cash. And then when I had a few makers say to me, let me see if I can. If they'll be out. Can they see that yellow from there? Yeah. Show them that yellow. It's a bright yellow.
See it on the camera, it looks like mustard.
Yeah, so yeah, just mix, mix and mix. That's all you gotta do. And then what I tend to do, when I do that, I can then see if there's like strands of unmixed pigment. And all you do, you just continue to mix, and you can see how opaque, or what's the other word? Opaque or translucent. Yeah, you can see how translucent it is. If it's too translucent for you, just add more pigmentation and just to get it darker, or a stronger color.
See, with me, I find that the powders make it more opaque, and the dyes, the liquid dyes, make it more translucent.
Yeah, that's why I've always do you know what, I did try the liquid dyes, and yeah, I prefer my powder. I really do prefer my pigment powder, if I'm honest. I'm trying to, yeah, it was this one, wasn't it? Look at me just thinking what I was doing there. Yeah. So you know what? Fingers crossed.
Don't want to repeat it last time.
No, it should be all right. And then just pour. And because I want this pearlescent to have an effect, I don't want it to be a flat color. I'm gonna have to keep coming back. Is that not flat? Yeah, it's just the way the tape is. I'm gonna have to keep coming back every 10 minutes to give it that desired look that I'm going for, or else it'll just sit flat. Beautiful. And then pour some in this one now. 9 times out of 10, I can guarantee I don't have enough.
You got enough.
And I wouldn't pour any more resin on this now until, like, I would go for the other colors as well now. I would add different colors now, and then if I have to, all I would do then is just come back with some more yellow and just add that on top of the yellow that I've got before. I tell you what was really tricky to make. It was a piece that I made for Dead Rise Woodcraft's niece. She wanted what was it called? She wanted the Elephant and Castle tube sign logo, right? Now, do you know that old back in the day tile, that off yellow, that off cream look? Well, it was a very hard color to achieve, man. Do you know what I'm saying? it wasn't just a straightforward color. I really had to mix a few colors and dye the color as well. You know, add a color in there that I didn't think would work in it, and it came out like it was like ice cream. Like ice cream, like a
Like a faint,
well, if you yeah,
faint, yeah.
it's a faint yellow. It's a faint yellow, but I had to get that same yellow as the tiling that was the background of the Elephant and Castle. But yeah, that was a bit of a challenge to do that. But yeah, this is part of the process that um Sneaks Warlock has to go through every single time he makes some wall art. Now that I've been using this GPS stuff now for like a year now or so, um, it's a real good material. It's a brilliant material to work from. It, it comes in flat sheets like that, or it comes in.
It's like pen blanks.
Yeah, pen blanks to other wood turners. It comes in pen blank shapes, or it can come in long rods. Don't drop it. You can come into big long rods like this as well. So yeah, it's all these things.
I've seen all that there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can make from the GPS, and the color range is just crazy. I don't know if you saw Huey Lionheart. He I made him a blue lion with some of this new stuff, this new clear. It's like a misty kind of
It looks like it should glow in the dark.
no
It's like a jaded colour.
yeah, the glow in the dark stuff, man. That's some crazy stuff, man. That is. But yeah, it does take a bit of time to create one of Sneak's wall art pieces. I kind of like try to squeeze this in an hour, and look what I've done. You see, so it does take time. Just be patient. If you're patient with it's really therapeutic, and the only worry is any leaks.
I think that's the only thing with resin generally.
Yeah. So the next stage will be these two different colors, and then filling in. Have something to do here. Fill in this part, this middle central piece. Make a frame to go all the way around it. Put some LEDs on the inside of that, facing into the picture, and then the last thing to fully cover it in a clear resin, and hopefully you'll be able to see that process throughout watching my Instagram, no doubt.
And you've still got 5 minutes.
Still got 5 time for it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Any questions anybody would like to ask me? The last 5. Oh, that octopus was awesome. Yeah. A lot of people speak about my octopuses, man. To be honest with you, I would like to do a giant one. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to do a giant one, like probably.
So have you got room in here?
You know what I mean? Probably a meter. Yeah, a meter square. Yeah, I'd love to do one like a meter square. What would I like to use for that? What material? To be honest with you, I would love to do another milliput.
Yeah, you got Cares from Spirit
Yeah.
and Bear up next.
Who's next? Sorry.
Cares from Spirit and Bear.
Cares
From Spirit and Bear.
Oh right, yeah, guys. Who's up next in the next 4 minutes? Is what did you say? Cares and
Cares from Spirit and Bear.
Cares from Spirit and Bear. Sorry about that, Cares. Oh, Kaz, Kaz, Cares, isn't it? Cares.
Yeah.
It's the way you says it. I couldn't understand what he was. Cares. Cares from Spirit and Bear.
Yes.
Okay then. Right then. Right, guys. Yeah. Up next is Cares. Yes, Cares.
Yes.
From Spirit and Bear. Oh God!
You were the first person to actually have trouble understanding me.
Oh God! Oh. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me on the virtual craft festival. Hopefully, I'll be invited to do another one. I'll probably be doing this one still. But
Just under 160 subs now.
160 follow. Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, guys, man. That you know me, man. That man. I'm gonna come off here, man. I'm just gonna be jumping around the house. Yeah. I do some funny posts on Instagram. I'm also on Snapchat. I'm on TikTok, and I'm on Facebook, and as you know, YouTube. So, yeah. Thank you so much, man.
So you may find you on Instagram.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, my number one spot is Instagram. Any questions? Anything you want to ask me at all about GPS, about what I make, how I create, and everything. Anything you want to ask, just come on Instagram, and I'll gladly answer your questions.
Where did you get that sweet logo?
Oh yes, the person who designed this logo for me is Dead Rise Woodcrafts. I left that in his hands because everybody knows me for this Superman logo that my late father, my late stepfather left for me 18 years ago. So I never take it off, and everybody knows me for it. How long have I got left? Yeah, so
Fine Big Fitty, when are you coming to visit?
Pardon?
When are you coming up to visit?
Who's that?
Big Fitties.
Oh, Wayne. In mate, in the next couple of weeks, I'm ready. To be honest with you, Wayne, I'm ready now. I just wanted to get Chiron sorted in college. Once he's sorted that out, mate, we'll be ready. I'll be good to come to see you. Not a problem. And anyway, yeah, Dead Rise Woodcrafts, he designed this logo for me. I definitely wanted the Superman thing because he knows I like Superman. And they put the W in there as well. That was just next level. I have to thank him again to Dead Rise Woodcrafts who designed this logo for me. Cheers for that, guys. And I hope you had a good time being here with me, man. My second craft thing, and I hope it's gone well. Am I still live?
Now you wrap it up.
Okay, wrap it up. Thanks, guys.
One end.